and agriculture, there's a world of difference. In the sanitized, salubrious environment, the banking hall, where you deal with computers, crisp notes, dollars, and so on, it's a different atmosphere from that muddy, murky, sweaty environment of the farm. And it takes some courage and passion to get into agric. It even takes greater courage for a poor farmer to dare to walk into a banking hall in search of a bank manager to ask for a loan. The chances are that the bank manager is too busy. Now, however, the bank manager needs to eat. The bank manager needs to support the farmer if this country is not going to get into crisis. If the 200 million, and by 2050, 450 to 500 million Nigerians have no food, there will be no banks. Remember the SAP riots. Banks in Lagos had to shut their doors. And there was another riot under Sani Abacha. For nearly 1 month, banks were operating through the back door because of rioters. If there should be chaos in Nigeria because of hunger, where do Nigerian refugees go to? How long will it take us to overrun the Republic of Benin and Togo and Ghana? Moving up to Niger may not be a very good alternative. The only open space is the Atlantic Ocean. Not a very nice place to take refuge because we'll be feeding the fish in the ocean. And don't say it's not possible. If you say it is not possible, what you are doing now is the answer to that. We must get back to this business. If we can't grow food and feed ourselves, we really don't yet exist as a nation. So what are the options? I'll round up. We're planning to relaunch cocoa in about a month. We want to plant 15 million trees a year, and cocoa grows in 28 states of this country. We will relaunch cocoa with new varieties that yield in 2 years, and the research was carried out by Nigerians. The relaunching will take place in Ondo State, and then another launching in Cross River State. They are the two biggest producers of cocoa. But they grow cocoa too in Abia and in many other states. We're going to start commercial production of shea butter. And right now, research is going on how to graft new varieties of shea butter that will yield in 4 years, not 20 years, as in the wild. We're looking at major expansion of coconut. What's coconut got to do with it? Coca-Cola is discovering now that people don't like to drink Coca-Cola because in every bottle of Coca-Cola, you have about 8 cubes of sugar. Not very good for your body. The water in coconut is being researched upon as a natural source of sweetening. But that's not all. Coconut oil is expensive. 1 liter today is 7,000 naira if you press it cold. But that's not all. The coconut shell is a very expensive export item. You use it to produce activated carbon, heavily used in industry. Just like you do with palm kernel nuts and palm kernel shell. What of palm oil? We are short of about 300,000 tons of palm oil, even for local consumption. So we are importing from Malaysia. And palm kernel oil, palm kernel shell is also valuable as an export item. And what of cashew nuts? Last year, we shipped out $600,000 worth of raw cashew to Vietnam. We have decided that in 2 years, we shall not export raw cashew nuts. We shall roast the cashew here and export it. Because from 3 tons of raw cashew, you produce 1 ton of roasted cashew, which sells in the world market now for $10,000. And how many of you are from Plateau here? Anybody? Well, there is a wild plant called cactus, which we use in fencing farms. It is in high demand in Japan. What do they do with it? They eat it. They say it's one of the finest sources of antioxidant in the body. There are many things that we can do if we get the support. And what kind of support? Finance. Finance. First Bank, finance. Who will lend money to the farmer? And at what interest rate? At 18, 20, 25%, the loan is not for the farmer. Except if you structure your loan this way. If it's a loan for 1 year and the farmer can turn it around 3 times, maybe he can pay. We were in Kano yesterday. We drove from Abuja in the morning, got to Kano, went to the wheat harvest, the new rice planting season, and went to the new cassava blending plant owned by Kano called Casco. If you give the farmer a loan for 1 year and he turns it around 3 or 4 times before the year ends, he may be able to pay. If you give the loan for just 3 months and it's over 18%, he can't pay. And by the way, we are the only country in the world, the country serious about agri, where interest rates for agri are still higher than 5%. Now, I do not know the mystery of the interest rate business in this country. From the structural adjustment program of 1986, we got into trouble. Interest rates have never been low here. We become a nation of traders and contractors. Everybody looking for an LPO or hustling around importing and selling. It looked fantastic until we got broke. India is 3%. Western Europe, 3.5%. The US, 3%. In Japan, it's about 2.5%. How do we manage ours at the current profile? Not being an economist, I found it very difficult to aggregate and mystify the logic of why interest rates can go down. I'm told it's because government is willing to borrow at 18%, so why should banks borrow at less? Maybe that. But the ultimate victim is the Nigerian society. This economy has really not been growing that much, except on the back of oil and gas. It can grow in other sectors. Someday, we'll meet with you, the bankers, and the CBN. Ferdinand de Soto wrote a book called The Mystery of Capital. So you can demystify the mystery of interest rates. Until we take care of the stomach, the eyes and the ears, the head and the legs will never function properly.